This tutorial is on the tuition module of the Daycare Solver Childcare Management System. So with the navigation window in view, we will click on the tuition button towards the tuition module. The tuition form now appears, and this is essentially a tuition tracking subsystem that is going to allow us to begin recording tuition for the various children or students that are enrolled in the organization. So towards the top right, you'll see a transaction ID. This is going to be very similar to the student ID that was shown in the child care or children profiles area. This is an ID that will automatically populate, so there is no need to type in anything here. The system will automatically assign a transaction ID. So what we'll do to start off, we will select a student from this drop-down menu. If I click on the drop-down menu, it shows the student ID, last name, and first name. We're simply going to select one of the students. And then once that is done, that individual's or child's name will populate in the first and last name fields. Nothing to type there. From there, we put in the payment date, the amount, the billing period, and the billing period is based on how you bill at your individual center or daycare. So perhaps you have a registration fee that is done yearly. You can select year and input that transaction. Perhaps you bill weekly. You can put that in there, or perhaps it's by day. Maybe there was a late fee for that particular day or hour, whatever it is. We have the various time modules or time categories within this billing period field here. So let's generate a new record. I'll click on the new button here, and let's select a student. And you can see the moment I selected a student, again, the first and last name fields automatically populated, but in addition to that, the account history for that child automatically popped up towards the bottom here. So we're always going to have the account history in view, so you'll always know what was the last payment that was received. So we'll put in our payment date. Let's do that in 2022. And let's say the amount was $150. And that was for the week. Let's put in the notes here, weekly tuition. And all we need to do after that is simply hit save. Once that is done, that record has now been added into the log, if you will, for that individual. And so if we were to say add another transaction for the same student, you'll see that it has now been put into the account history. And then if we wanted to also generate a report for this particular child. So if for some reason, let's create a situation or scenario where we wanted to generate a report for that child for a given year or a given time period, we can actually do that fairly easy right here in the tuition tracking module. Click on the report button, and it asks a question. What is the start date? So this is the date and time that we want to report this information. So let's say that was January the 1st of 2021, right? And we need to ensure we're putting it in this format: month, day, day, and year. Putting the entire year out with the slashes. Let's keeping it in that format. Then hit OK. And then we can put in the end date. Now, if you don't have an end date or a start date, you just want all the information, simply hit enter, and it will pretty much populate that information for you. I'm going to put in an end date of April 1st, 2022, and hit OK. And now I have a customized report specifically for that child with the date range that I put in. Okay, so it's only showing the transactions for that child with the specific date range I put in. Okay, I'm gonna close out of this. Right, and so I could do this for any transaction, for any student, any child. And so that may bring up the next thought. What if I wanted reports for all children? And to that regard, all we would need to do is, if we close out of the tuition tracker, go to our reports button on the navigation menu, and you'll see right here, tuition by date, all children. And it functions pretty much the same way. You'll put in the beginning date, and you'll see here we now have tuition reports for all children in the daycare or in the organization, given based on the variable that we put in, which is the actual date. So you can see the beginning and end date that we've entered, and now it will create reports for all children with the start and end date. So again, this could be done for whether it was a yearly basis, perhaps this is just for the given week, whatever it is, you can customize that essentially for your needs. If you have other questions, concerns, or thoughts, again, please keep in mind that you can simply go back to the main menu, go towards the bottom left, and click Help, which will take you to our Help Center where you can ask questions, look at other tutorials, and contact us for additional help. Hope you have a great day.